circling back to sort of just the overview of the Pakistani landscape a little bit. So we've talked, we've gone a little bit into the paid apps piece, but I'd like to obviously spend a little bit more time on the free apps piece and what you guys are doing out there to, as we are burning through time a lot faster than I anticipated, and we are getting some good questions coming in. But thinking about let's take things in like from the kind of start of Hypercasual, because Junaid, that's like you kind of come into the space in 2019. Ayaz, you've been through the full gamut of Hypercasual. So what, as it pertains to the ideation stage of development, how do you feel that has changed through the course of Hypercasual's shift into today's industry? So Ayaz, you way potentially a lot more experience with a lot of different publishers in Hypercasual. I'd love to get a sense of like how you feel ideation has changed, and maybe like, are there any tools you're using to help you zero in on the right idea to begin prototyping?
Yeah, sure. So throughout last 4 years, we are always working with a publisher. I mean, I don't remember a single month we haven't been working with one. And the first requirement to work with a publisher is having a unique idea, which isn't in the market before, right? Even that landscape is changing
Easy,
right now.
right? That's easy. Just think of a
Yeah.
totally brand
Oh,
new, never thought of before thing in an ecosystem
yeah.
in which 1,000 new things happen every day. Got it. Okay, I'm with you. Keep going.
Yeah. It was tough in the start. I mean, whatever you think of, it is already available, right? So, but with time, me and my game designers, we actually worked out and we reached a point where if we like send 3 concepts to a publisher, 3 of them gets accepted, right? Which is why if you will see Tiny Kraken's account, you won't find any clone or even something that is near to any other game. So we built that expertise. So that was a necessity in Hypercasual. But you know how Hypercasual is.
How did you build that expertise?
Yeah, so okay, so I'll just quote one game. Let's talk about Tower Archer. That was the game we published with Supersonic, right?
Yeah.
So the idea was actually perceived from 2 different games, right? So my game designer said, "Have you seen Tabs? Totally accurate battle simulator. I want to make something like that." And when I saw that game, I said that, man, this is not for casual audience. We should do something about it. And then I thought of what Archero was doing, and there were other archery games and stuff like that. And we mixed it, and we created something very unique, which wasn't actually, there were many archer games, right? There were many strategy action games, but there was the game that you are protecting the gate of your fortress from incoming waves like it is in the movies. So that was our process. We just used to sit, we talk movies, we talk about other games, we talk about what's working where, what's best on Steam, what YouTubers are actually screen recording and sharing, right? And then we just connect all and we try to come up with something that is unique and that we can visualize that, yeah, that would be fun to play. So that was a process at that time. Now it's changed. Yeah. So now
and
you
to
see
actually just to speak to that change, actually, if you don't mind me jumping in, I'm going to pivot to Junaid on that one. So because you kind of joined Games District at the peak/end of Hypercasual, and then of course had to figure out the next move, right? And with Supermarket Simulator. So thinking about ideation, I guess like what tools are you using to help you monitor trends in the space and help you funnel new ideas? But specifically with Supermarket Simulator, what was it that helped you arrive to that idea?
Yeah, so just like having like the context with the last question, I don't think like ideation ever comes to be very original when it comes to like games nowadays, because everything is a copy of a copy. All the ideas
of a copy of a copy.
Yeah. So all the ideas are taken from here, there, all the games, and then mashed up to bring something new to value. So what I see like the new trend with the games is more of like what's working already in the market and having your unique spin or your USP over it. So if the biggest of the biggest, like the Royale match, it's like 1,000-year-old since the beginning of the games, like this match game, and it's still working very good. Recently came out like a few years ago. So what I think the ideation has come up to is finding something that works and finding what you can bring, what uniqueness you can bring to it. So with Supermarket, it's a game that was working very good on the PC. So what I had to do, we are always analyzing the market. So we in game have a lot of like tools that are more oriented to mobile games and the
Okay.
mobile gaming industry, like data.ai is one of them. Sensor Tower, they're one of our partners too. Then we have like cheaper tools like App Store Spy. Anyone who's starting in the industry must look at them. Like they're very
Yeah.
cheap to get started.
There's another
Then
one
we
just to throw it out there actually as well called My Store Spy, which is another cheap tool that people can check out. I think it's like $5 a month kind of thing, and
yeah.
it does a decent
Yeah,
job of like looking at creatives and stuff as well.
yeah,
Even just for people, because people have asked that question, like the Facebook ad library can be interesting, right? Because a lot of things get tested at the creative level, and if you can find accounts, you can watch creatives be tested. But sorry, carry on, Junaid.
yeah. So we use these tools to stay up to date on everything that's happening in the mobile gaming industry, as well as you need to be like well versed with whatever is happening on the console market or the PC market too, because a lot of like ideas do transform from platform to platform. I've seen games going from mobile to like PC, and I've seen PC games coming to mobile. And Supermarket was one of those examples. We saw this doing very good on PC, and we found out like we had the technical like skills, having built like, a lot of arcade idle games that have like much more complex like economies than like
Mm-hmm.
Hypercasual.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw like we can like execute it with more quality than any of the peers that we have on the mobile, and that's how we came up with My Supermarket Simulator.
Yeah.
And my really suggestion to anyone like creating new games would be to like research a lot. New ideas are very hard to come by and very hard to like be like market proven. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the best thing that you can do is take two things or three things that are working together and mash them up, bring your
Yeah.
USP to it, and surely it has a better chance working out other than like something that's very original,
Yeah.
because it's about the product market fit at the end, and it's very, very hard business right now coming up with
Yeah.
new ideas that can work. Yeah.
I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the Pakistani game development ecosystem is uniquely qualified to do mashups because, again, going back to like one of the earlier things, like you guys have made everything. You know what I mean? Like you guys have made every kind of game you can make, like over
Yeah.
and over and over again. So it's like and I think, it seems like for a long time, kind of thinking about the evolution of the industry again and where Pakistan is in it, that in the earlier days, let's say, when free apps were dominant, but they were mostly driven by store discoverability, getting featured or getting ranked. Um, the ecosystem was able to produce a lot of games, mashing up different things that are working from a bunch of different places, and then drive that through ASO, right? Which I think that ASO mentality is being plugged into what people are thinking about, what's trending or whatever. So, I think that's probably one thing Western developers miss most when it comes to like they want to know what's trending, and so they check social and things like that. And that's obviously all well and good, super super important. What games are new, what games are being updated, what games are being soft launched, what creatives are being tested. But like one thing I used to say a lot, and I still believe, and I think as your experience speaks to this in terms of looking at like superhero culture and all this kind of stuff, is games
Yeah.
are part of the entertainment landscape, right? And entertainment serves a specific function in society, right? Like you're there to hold the attention, and so understanding what it is people want, right? Like what it is people want to see reflected back to them is critical. And so if you're not like looking at like what people search on the internet, like how plugged into that are you?